Welcome back for another video. What are the top all-time managers doing for this game week? We're all topped up to 5 free transfers, or some of us were and we've spent them already. There is a lot spent this week in the Experts League as well, plus there's chips active. Let's get into it. Jamie McDonald is this week's manager highlight. He's still top of the Experts League with a rank of 430th in the world. Just 54 points last game week though, which was a red arrow, but still an amazing position to be in with a couple of chips left. Well done if you managed to beat the average score in the league, which was 56 points. The global average was closer last week on 49. For Gameweek16, just one manager's rolling. Though obviously this week rolling does mean burning a transfer. 5 is the maximum that we're allowed, so you can either use one this week or lose it if you're sitting on 5 still. 23% are making one transfer, 35% making 2 moves. And this is definitely a new record, the highest in the series history. 17% making 3 transfers and 16% making 4. We've got 8% on an active chip as well. We'll have a look at a free hit draft shortly from one of the best all-time managers. So which players are they buying and who are they selling? This week, number 1 is Thiago with 43% buying him. And almost all of those are selling Mateta, who is the most sold with 45%. It's very contrasting fixtures. Like Palace have got Europa Conference League and then they've got Man City home. Brentford got midweek off and they face Leeds home. Further to that, big shock coming from Glasner's press conference before that Europa game. Munoz requires knee surgery and he's expected to be out for around 4 to 6 weeks. Now he's instrumental for Palace and this is really bad news. I mean, up until last game week when he missed out, he was actually the top scoring defender. No experts are considering Klein. He's 3.8 million, but I mean realistically there's a chance he goes on a run of 1 and 2 pointers. Maybe as an enabler for deep on your bench. If there's no other options he could be handy, but he's no Munoz where you start him every week and you expect potential goal threat regardless of fixture. I mean, if anything, this might even be an opportunity to hop off the Palace assets. You know, Mateta, maybe Guehi, Richards, Aqua. You could sell them, and the Palace defence is very high ownership right now. And if they do go on to struggle, that could be the next window of opportunity to make some gains. Adding up all the Palace defenders, their combined ownership is about 75%, or even more actually when you add in Henderson. Foden is the second most bought at 30%, Gu 19%, Hincapi 15%, and Timber also 15%. Another surprise in Europe, so Timber travelled with the Arsenal squad, but then he wasn't in their match day squad at all, not even on the bench that faced Club Brugge, as Arsenal went on to win 3-0. Arteta said, "We lost 2 this morning," in reference to Timber and Calafiori, I believe. And he also said the following in reference to Timber not being in the squad and Calafiori only making the bench. They both had issues from the weekend, both really bad kicks. For Timber it was too early, and for Calafiori we have to manage to see if we can do some minutes tonight. And Cappy is actually nailed then in the short term until Gabriel's return. So maybe he's actually the best right now buying this week. Just be aware that you might only get a few games out of Hincapié if you're buying him. That doesn't mean he's a bad play though. Like, he actually is the most reliable route into Arsenal's defence with that Timber news in mind. It's possible that Timber starts, but we're not going to get anything concrete from Arteta in his press conference most likely before the Wolves game. So it's likely a case of hope for the best if you've got him, but maybe if you're buying Hincapié as the one. They could just be being extra cautious, you know, because they've got Gabriel, Saliba, Mosquera out, and things are potentially on a knife edge if anything worsens. Some other top transfers in to mention then: Anderson, Bruno, Raul Jimenez, Dango, Raya, Rice, Szoboszlai, Wilson and Van den Berg. I've been having a look at Szoboszlai as well myself, from Game Week 18 personally, because in Game Week 18 Liverpool have got Wolves home and then Leeds home back to back, which is an absurdly good pairing of games. Let's have a look at chips next then. So we've got 4 more game weeks to use our chips or we lose them. No wildcards this week despite that. However, 8% are free hitting, 2% have got the bench boost active after spending a bunch of free transfers to upgrade the bench. One manager, FPL Fish, has got his triple captain active on Saka as well. Jack, or FF Vamps, has got his free hit active this week. Jack, as of the start of the season, number 20 in the all-time FPL leaderboard rankings. His most recent ranks are 24k, 1.2k, 7k and 377, so averaging 8k over the last 4 years, which is crazy consistency. His team is a 4-4-2 on the free hit, and it's Leno, Timber, Hincapié, Tete, Anderson, Saka, Foden, Bruno, Dango, Thiago and Haaland. And then he's got Sanchez, Collins, Stack and Gu for some nice depth on the bench just in case. So my opinion on the free hit is that it's an opportunity to attack good fixtures. Firstly, I want to reduce my defensive exposure to 2 teams max. Arsenal may have their defensive injuries, but it's still a great fixture and their options are limited. Fulham have the other strong fixture, so I'm happy to triple up on them. In the attacking 6, a blend of good fixtures versus high ownership players. Defence has playing options, but value is mostly in the 11. Saka looks like the model's choice of captain against the poor Wolves team. Don't be afraid to mix it up, increasing the risk profile. If you are brave, City don't have the easiest game, so coming off Foden and Haaland for others like Isak or double Arsenal attack with an Eze might be an option. So it's not been my worst start to the season, but I haven't had many where I'm trying to recover like I've had to this year. The irony is that I've only had 3 red arrows all season, so I am comfortable that I'm making the right decisions, but maybe I just need a little more luck with the outcomes. Being an analytical manager, there are tools that help you understand this thought process, and they also seem to back that up. For context, I always advocate for understanding your game and your risk profile before making any decisions. There's always the devil on your shoulder waiting to tell you to do something a little more risky or a little more boring. But it's you who has to look in the mirror and decide if the decision you made is the right one and be happy with the outcome. This is exactly where I'm currently at with the free hit. I'm sitting around 850k overall, and I could easily let myself make some risky choices to try and get myself a large rank gain. But is the risk how I want to play? Would I be happy if I did that and it went wrong? In short, play the game in a way that makes you happy with the decision and not the outcome. Thanks for sending in to us, Jack, and best of luck on the free hit. Captaincy next, and for the first time in a while, it's not Haaland top. Saka leads on 57%, and then it's Haaland 40%, and then one manager each for Bruno, Timber and Foden. 4.24 expected goals conceded by Wolves home last game was comfortably worst of all 20 teams that played. 33 goals conceded this season is 3 worse than any team as well. Arsenal also rotated heavily in the Champions League, like they had Norgard playing as centre-back. Saka was among those benched, he came on at 71 minutes for the last 20. Elsewhere, Haaland did score from the penalty spot against Real Madrid in their win, but you can never rule him out for captaincy. I mean, Pep certainly had an eye on the weekend's game himself to try and keep their momentum going, and he did make a triple sub at 70 minutes. He took Haaland, Foden and Cherki off. O'Reilly played 90 minutes for what it's worth, so he could be a slight risk. FPL Review Projections has got Saka top on 7.3 points, and then Bruno 6.4, Haaland 5.8, and then it's Palmer and Thiago. Let us know in the comments who you're going with for captaincy and why this week. So onto the top all-time managers template team. How many players do you share with the template team? Lots of changes. It's a 3-5-2 now. It's Raya, Anderson, Van Dijk and Timber, Foden, Bruno, Minte, Saka, Anderson, Thiago and Haaland. And on the bench it's Dubravka, Rodon, Richards and Gue. So Mateta, King and Munoz leave the team for Thiago, Anderson and Richards. No messing about. Thiago's shot up to 99% owned. I mean, the percentage difference column on the right are basically the major signals for you to look at. You know, so Thiago is 66% higher owned among the top all-time FPL managers. Foden 68%, another massive difference. Saka's 75% higher is the most of any player. 95% ownership versus 20% overall for Saka. And as you saw, they're going as Saka captain more often than not. I mean, imagine Haaland blanks and Saka hauls with that low ownership. You've just made some absolutely massive gains over most players around the world and in your mini leagues. But FPL is obviously a very unforgiving game. Like, Haaland could haul and Saka blanks, and that wouldn't be surprising either. Bruno's got a 57% difference, which is also way up there as the highest. Anderson from Fulham, 54%. The 3 players that have got a negative difference are Semenyo, Voltemada and Mbumo. Final thoughts and tips before the deadline. Here's what the top all-timers wanted to say to you this week. FPL Mark says the 5 free transfers does come with challenges. Teams are going to look very similar with 5 free transfers being gifted, with most buying the same pool of players and being on triple Arsenal and City in particular. Andrew Debenham says, big at the back is back. I'm looking at the monster hauls of some of the defenders and there seems little incentive to go for cheaper strikers by comparison. With rotation season coming up, our defenders are more reliable picks and any early subs simply lock the clean sheets earlier. Alex Sullivan says, with everyone having 5 free transfers, people are going to be tempted to rip up their teams and make luxury transfers that only marginally improve their team or not at all. There is prudence and hopefully rank gains in using 1 or 2 transfers a week throughout December, especially as the pile-up continues. You don't want to go on a spending spree now and then get caught without the transfers when you really need them. And lastly, Vitesse says, I've hit the panic button and it felt good. Thanks very much for watching. In the morning, we're also going to hear from the #1 all-time FPL manager, Tom's team, and his transfer plans. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the daily content to help you do well. See you soon for the next one.